Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragonhill Games, and you're watching This Week in MTG Finance. As always, and before we get started, I want to thank MTG Stocks for allowing us to use graphical information for the purposes of this video. There's been some massive jumps on the market this week. Most of it has to do with some of these crazy previews we're seeing coming out of Core Set 2021, and almost all of it has to do with Commander. So let's dive right in, and we'll start with the top 10 winners percentage-wise this week, and we'll start right here with Sashiro the Anointed. Sashiro the Anointed, along with a lot of other snake-related cards, have been on the rise lately because of Xyrus the Writhing Storm, one of the new commanders from Commander 2020. Now, I did a deck tech on this, so if that's something that you're interested, I'll put that in the top right corner. You can go ahead and check that out. Currently valued at $17. Now, the only printing of this is from Champions of Kamigawa, so the supply on this is going to be relatively low. Sashiro the Anointed is 2 green and 4. It's basically a snake commander. Legendary creatures and snakes we control get +2/+2. Whenever a snake you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Pretty good when you throw it in a deck like Xyrus and you're making a whole bunch of snakes every turn. Our number 9 winner this week is Hungry Lynx from Commander 2017, currently valued at around $3.25, and this is also up 72% this week. This one might be a little tough to get your hands on. It's the only printing was Commander 2017 printing, so supplies are definitely low on a card like this for sure. Hungry Lynx is a 1 green and 1. It's a cat, it's a 2/2, and cats you control have protection from rats. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent creates a 1/1 black rat creature token with Dutch Touch, and here's the real important part. Whenever a rat dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each cat you control. So there was a new card spoiled from Core Set 2021, and that would be Rin Ciri, the dog/cat commander. And Hungry Lynx is going to slot really well into that deck for sure. Coming in at number 8 this week, we have Aggravated Assault from Onslaught, currently valued at $18, and this is also up 72% this week. Now, Aggravated Assault's been popular in Commander for quite some time. It's the only real printing is Onslaught. I mean, we had a minor printing in Explorers of Ixalan, and then we had a masterpiece from the Masterpiece series, Amonkhet Invocations. So Aggravated Assault is 1 red and 2. It's an enchantment, and we can basically pay 2 red and 3 to untap all our creatures, have an additional combat phase, followed by an additional main phase. So basically just an extra way for really aggressive decks to get an extra combat turn in every turn. This is slotting really well into something like Xyrus the Writhing Storm, but is probably gaining in popularity because of the cat/dog deck Rin Ciri as well. Coming in at number 7 this week, we have Bear Umbra from Rise of the Eldrazi, valued at $10.75, and this is up 79% this week. So for 2 green and 2, we get an enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has, whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands you control. So pretty awesome ability stapled onto this card for sure. And like all Umbras, it is a totem armor as well. I couldn't find any particular tech on why this is rising this week, but it's just a good solid commander card, and I'm sure there is something that it's working well with. It also has a very low printing, considering the only other printing was from Commander 2018. Our number 6 winner this week is a bit of an odd one. It's Vernal Equinox from Mercadian Mass. The only printing of this card, valued at $4, and this is up 89% this week. I did a bunch of digging, and I really couldn't find anything on this card. It's in, if you go over to EDH Rec, it's hardly in any decks, so this may very well be a speculative buyout, maybe somebody who has some insider information, or maybe it's just something that I can't seem to find anywhere. Now, Vernal Equinox is 1 green and 3. Any player may play creature and enchantment spells anytime he or she could play an instant. And I'm thinking that this obviously has something to do with the second part of that. Any player may play enchantment spells anytime it could play an instant. So probably going to have something to do with one of the spoilers from Core Set 2021. Our number 5 winner this week is Praetor's Grasp from New Phyrexia, also a card that has only 1 printing and currently valued at $10. This is up 103% this week. So this card got a bunch of attention earlier in the week where it hit all-time highs of $14. It's come down a little bit since then, and the reason for that was because it got some attention in a podcast from EDH Rec. It's always been a good solid commander staple card. It's been on the rise since about middle of 2017, give or take. Praetor's Grasp is 2 black and 1. It's a sorcery. Search target opponent's library for a card and then exile that card face down. Then that player shuffles his or her library, and you may look at and play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Like I said, just a really good kind of card in Commander in black, and it gets some attention in Send Triplets decks. So our number 4 winner this week, Furnace of Wrath, is a card that may present some financial opportunities. The Duels of the Planeswalker version, currently valued at $10, is up 145% this week. Now, if you're not familiar with Furnace of Wrath, it's an enchantment, 3 red and 1. If a source would deal damage to a creature or player, it deals double that damage to that creature or player instead. Super good in red aggressive type commander decks. Now, the reason why I say this may present some financial opportunity is Furnace of Wrath has had quite a few printings, and this Duels of the Planeswalker printing would be definitely the lowest quantity, like the lowest supply. So those generally sell out and rise faster just because of the actual quantity of them. The Planechase version would have probably the second lowest quantity, and that's why we can see a price around $6.50. But you can still pick up the 8th edition version for $3.50. So if this is a card that you're going to need for your collection, that is an amazing opportunity. And like I said, there's an opportunity financially here because of the massive gap between something like the 8th edition and the Duels of the Planeswalker version. This gap will eventually close. Just a good solid investment anyway, because Furnace of Wrath is a card that's really popular in Commander. It's been popular for some time, and it's one of these cards that's just constantly on the rise. So this brings us to our number 3 winner this week, and that would be Alondra the Dusk Rose, currently valued at $45, and this is up another 158% this week. This card has been on a crazy ride over the course of the last couple of months. Now, it has an extremely low supply because of Mythic Rarity printing. The only set it was printed in was Rivals of Ixalan, and the rise this week is because of Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose, a spoiler from Core Set 2021. It's interesting that card points right to Alondra. It's right in the name of that card. Vito, if you're not familiar with, I'll throw it up here for you to have a quick look at. Vito has Sanguine Bond stapled right onto it as a creature. Now, Sanguine Bond basically states that whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So, of course, Alondra the Dusk Rose would make an amazing commander for a deck that would contain Vito. Alondra has lifelink, and whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Alondra the Dusk Rose. When Alondra dies, create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is Alondra's power. So those vampire creature tokens just keep feeding into the fact that whenever you're gaining life, you're making your opponents lose additional life. All right, our number 2 winner this week is Daxos, the Return from Commander 2015. Currently valued at $10, and this thing is up 313%. So the speculation is that there's some insider information going on here because there's no actual deck tech with Daxos the Returned. It's not a popular commander. It's getting some play in a new deck, Calcine the Plague from Commander 2020, but that doesn't really account for this massive price spike. There is a relatively low supply of this out there. Most of the major suppliers, things like Channel Fireball, Card Kingdom like that, either have a low supply or no supply of Daxos. But like I said, there's no actual tech on the card, and the big speculation is that somebody knows something that hasn't been revealed to us yet from Core Set 2021. So Daxos is 1 black, 1 white, and 1. He's a legendary zombie, a 2/2, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you get an experience counter. So obviously this has something to do with enchantments that we just don't know about yet. You can pay 3 mana, put a white and black spirit enchantment creature token onto the battlefield. It has this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of experience counters you have. It will be interesting to see what cards are released that work well with Daxos the Return. Might point us to some inside information, who knows. Regardless, this card is up an amazing 313% this week. And our big winner this week is Child of Olara. This card came out of nowhere because of a spoiler from Core Set 2021. Currently valued at $26, and this thing is up an astronomical 618% this week. I gotta say, I never thought I'd see this out of Child of Olara. Just not really a popular card. I mean, it's always had some value in around the $3-4 range, but not a super popular commander. It's one of the 5-color commanders, a legendary avatar. The thing's a 6/6 with trample, so that's pretty good. And when Child of Olara is put into a graveyard from play, destroy all non-land permanents that can't be regenerated. The reason why this has gotten so much attention this week is because of the Core Set 2021 spoiler, Chromatic Ori. So Chromatic Ori is an artifact. It's a 7 cost, but you can spend mana as though it were any color. And the thing has tap, add 5 colorless mana to your mana pool. So basically you can tap the thing and cast any 5-color commander. So I think all of the 5-color commanders are going to be getting a lot of attention in the next few weeks and months, depending on how viable this Chromatic Orrery turns out to be. You can also pay 5 and tap Chromatic Orrery and draw cards equal to the mana colors from different permanents you control. So if your commander is on the battlefield, you can tap this Chromatic Orrery and draw 5 cards. Absolutely amazing. I think there's going to be a lot more popularity, obviously, with 5-color commanders. So it's no wonder that Child of Olara is up so much this week. So before I get to cards I'm investing in this week, as always, if you're a subscriber, you know I want to thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support. And if not, now's a great time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post at least 2 videos every week. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'm going to be putting out a video later this week on how some of these spoilers from Core Set 2021 are affecting cards that are currently in the marketplace. So if that's something that interests you, keep your eyes open for that. So I'd like to kick things off with Reaper King, the Mystery Booster Retail Exclusive Edition. Now, I mentioned in several videos in the past how I think these Mystery Booster foils, a lot of them are going to be really sought after in the future. Now, there is a ton of supply of these Mystery Booster foils that went into the marketplace because it was a relatively low card pool to draw from for these Retail Exclusive Edition. There was guaranteed one in every pack, and there was a ton of these Mystery Booster boxes open. So a lot of them, it's going to take time for the prices on these to recover. That said, picking up Reaper King, a foil for $2.63 is an absolutely screaming deal, especially considering the Core Set 2021 Chromatic Orrery spoiler we talked about earlier when we were going through the top 10 list. These 5-color commanders are going to be in high demand, and even the original Shadowmoor printing at around $8 is also a really good value. Up next, we have Legion Lieutenant from Rivals of Ixalan. It's an uncommon, currently valued around 85 cents. And I mentioned this one in the past before as well, but I'm really hot on Legion Lieutenant. I think this is a great deal, under $1 for a Lord that only costs 2 mana. Vampires crop up in all kinds of sets. They gain in popularity, they lose in popularity, they come back. It's just one of those sort of perennial tribal type creatures. It's the only printing of this card, and assuming we don't get any reprints in the near future, demand for this card is going to increase and supplies are going to decrease. And there is a lot of popularity, and there's a lot of popularity right now around the Vampire Commander Alondra the Dusk Rose. And the last 3 I have for you today are all cards I'm recommending because of the brand new commander that's been spoiled from Core Set 2021, and that would be Rin Ciri, the cat/dog commander. I think this is going to make a really fun commander type deck. So a lot of the cards that are either dogs or cats that work really well in this deck, I think are going to increase in value. And if you missed it, the Errated Hound to be dog. So that was actually made official with the Core Set 2021 variety show that they put on June 5th. So this card is a Maru, Hound of Konda, currently valued at $5. It had a massive price spike way back when Dominaria was first released because of Mox Amber. So Mox Amber is that 0 mana cost Mox type artifact that you can tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool for any color amongst legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. So obviously being able to drop Isamaru on turn 1 along with a Mox gives you that advantage of having that extra mana available to you. I believe Isamaru, along with a lot of the other dogs and cats that are really good value, are going to start creeping up in price. The next one I have for you guys, sticking with the dog and cat theme, is Adorned Pouncer from Hour of Devastation. Currently valued at around 70 cents. This thing's a great deal. So it's 1 white and 1. We get a cat that's a 1/1 with double strike. But the important thing here is the Eternalize. So for 2 white and 3, we can exile it from our graveyard and return to the battlefield as a 4/4 zombie cat with no mana cost. Pretty good deal when you're talking about this thing having a double strike in a deck like Rin Ciri, where it's going to be getting extra buffs. This thing is going to become a force to be reckoned with in Commander. And last but not least, we have our speculation play for the week. That's right, it's Regal Caracal from Amonkhet. Currently valued at an absolutely bargain basement price of 50 cents. This thing is a cat lord. So Regal Caracal is 2 white and 3. Other cats we control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. And when Regal Caracal enters the battlefield, we create an additional 2 white cat creature tokens. Seems like this is going to work really well in this Rin Ciri deck. And actually, I headed over to eBay and bought 50 copies of this just this morning. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed this edition of This Week in MTG Finance. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps me out, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.